Welcome to our new program today. We are initiating a really comprehensive deep dive into the standard American accent. We're not just looking at how words are pronounced, but really trying to understand the phonetic architecture underneath and those cultural shortcuts that really define U.S. communication. Our mission here is to give you a significant boost in listening comprehension and, well, cultural fluency, too. Moving beyond just basic understanding to really capturing the rhythm, the flow of native speech.
That's exactly it. That's the key distinction, I think. I mean, for any language learner, being understood mutual intelligibility, that's paramount, of course. But if you really want to get a handle on American media or people who talk fast or even regional differences, you kind of need the cheat codes. And we've gathered the most crucial, sometimes surprising phonetic rules, the ones that turn, separate words into that smooth, fast, natural-sounding speech.
Okay, perfect. So let's unpack this. Where do we start? The foundations of the standard American accent, or SAA. If we compare it to other English types, like British English, the first thing that jumps out is usually the R, isn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah, the first non-negotiable for SAA, the pronounced R. It's fully erotic. You hear that clear R sound, especially when it's at the end of a word, that post-vocalic R. Think about words like father, car, water. You really have to voice that final sound.
Right.
Now, sure, there are a few specific spots in the U.S., maybe parts of New England, where people still drop R's sometimes. But for the general standard, that R is always there. It's robust.
Okay, got it. Now, here's where I think it gets really interesting and where things speed up a lot in U.S. English.
Yeah.
That sound we call the flap T.
Ah, the flap T. Yes. Possibly the single most distinctive feature of American English phonetics. It happens when a T sound falls between two vowel sounds, or sometimes before an L, and crucially, the T stops sounding like a sharp T. Instead, it becomes this very quick, very soft D sound.
So like in water, you're saying it's more like water?
Exactly. Water.
Huh. So wait a second. If that's true, then words like metal and metal, could they actually sound exactly the same in conversation?
They often do, yes. They become homonyms in practice.
So how do people tell them apart when someone's talking fast?
It's almost entirely context, yeah.
Well,
You relied on the listener figuring it out from the surrounding words, because phonetically, they can be identical. And that soft D sound, it also pops up when the T comes before what we call a dark L, like in little or bottle or rattle.
little bottle. Okay,
It's all about keeping that smooth, uninterrupted flow going.
that makes sense. And that smoothing, that flow, leads us right into connected speech, doesn't it? What happens when all these words start, pumping into each other?
That's linking, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the technical term. When the last sound of one word is a consonant and the first sound of the next word is a vowel, they link up, they connect. That consonant sound effectively kind of moves over, becomes the start of the next syllable.
Ah, okay.
And that's why native speech can often sound like just one long, continuous word to a learner.
You really do hear it everywhere once you listen for it. I remember the example from The Hobbit's first sentence. In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit. That short sentence links up 3 times. In a, hole in, lived a.
It's a perfect example. Seamless speech. And, okay, so if linking is about how sounds connect, reductions are about how they shorten or change. This makes the speech feel even faster.
Right.
These are sounds that get changed, sometimes even dropped completely. The classic examples everyone knows are those verb contractions. Going to becomes gonna.
Wanna for want to.
Wanna, hafta for have to.
And the key thing is, these reductions aren't stressed, are they? You don't yell the gonna.
Exactly. Never stressed, they are always de-emphasized. Just think about the difference. Saying, what are you going to do tomorrow? Versus what are you going to do tomorrow?
Much faster, much smoother.
The pace picks right up. And it happens with small words too, like prepositions, take the word for. Very often it gets reduced to just a subtle fur sound, like in, wait here for a moment. Wait here for a moment.
For a moment.
Wow. Yeah. If you start listening for that fur instead of a full for, your comprehension can jump pretty quickly.
Okay, so linking connects, reduction shortens,
Yeah.
and both of these seem to rely really heavily on the schwa. You hear about the schwa all the time, the unsung hero, maybe?
Definitely an unsung hero. The schwa is just that simple sound, like the A and about, and it's absolutely key to the rhythm of U.S. English. Why? Because it shows you which syllables or words are unstressed.
Okay.
If a syllable isn't carrying the main meaning, it often gets weakened down to that schwa sound. It happens in those reductions we just talked about, like gonna, nu. And it's what you hear in the unstressed syllables of longer words. Think official, pencadal, address.
Official, pencul, address.
Right. And this is a really common spot for non-native speakers to trip up. accidentally stressing a syllable that should just be a weak schwa. That's one of the quickest ways to sound, well, not quite native. Picking up on these crucial, sometimes really subtle phonetic details, the flap T, linking, the schwa. It shows you're listening beyond just the basic words. It really transforms your comprehension. And it feels like this kind of detail is exactly what helps in mastering flawless English, breaking down these essential sounds.
Absolutely. It's about hearing the music, not just the notes. Okay, so now that we've got a handle on how T's, R's, and vowels can shift based on stress and connection, let's apply this to some real-world cultural stuff, starting with place names. Geographic names love to trick you, right?
Oh, they are huge traps because we naturally try to pronounce them based on spelling, which is often just wrong for American English. Classic example, Arkansas, Arkansas.
Right. Looks like Arkansas.
But nope. Stress on the first syllable, AR, and it ends in a saw sound, Arkansas. The final S is silent.
Arkansas. Okay, what about other tricky ones? Silent letters, weird stress.
Illinois is another big one. That final S is silent too. And the stress. It lands way on the third syllable. Illinois.
Illinois, got it.
And if you're heading out west, remember Nevada, stress is on the second syllable with a short A sound, like an apple. Nevada, not Nevada.
Nevada.
And Missouri. That S often sounds like a Z, and the stress hits the second syllable, Missouri.
This Oyuri, like a Z.
And don't forget, Massachusetts, long word, stress on the third syllable, Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. It seems like knowing where the stress falls is almost more important than the exact vowel sound sometimes.
Often, yes. Stress and rhythm are critical.
And I bet these same rules pop up in everyday things like brand names.
Absolutely. They use the exact same connected speech rules we've been talking about. Go back to the flap T, that soft D sound. You hear it constantly in really popular brands. Think Doritos, Cheetos, Gatorade. The T is between vowels, so it flaps. Doritos, Cheetos, Gatorade.
Right. Okay. What about linking and reduction? In company names.
Oh, yeah. Linking. Think In-N-Out Burger. Native speakers say it so fast it becomes one word. In-out, in-and-out.
In-out.
In-out. And the ampersand, the ana sign, it almost always reduces to just a quickened sound, like Ben and Jerry's becomes Ben and Jerry's.
Ben and Jerry's.
Makes sense.
We also see elision, remember? That's dropping sounds.
Yeah.
Take Costco. That T sound, gone. Because it's stuck between two other consonant sounds, S and C. So Costco.
Costco. Now I noticed the T was missing.
Happens all the time. Same with the D in Old Navy. Often becomes Old Navy.
Old Navy. Wow. And what about like Cinnamon Toast Crunch? That's a mouthful.
Great example. That T in toast often disappears between the ends and C.
Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Okay. It's everywhere.
And some are just unexpected, like Tylenol. That Y is a long I sound, and the second syllable is usually a schwa, T-Y lunol.
T-Y lunol.
Or Charmin toilet paper.
Yeah.
That CH isn't ki, each, she. Charmin. Okay, this shows these rules aren't just theory. They're baked into everyday language, even commercials. All right, let's shift gears slightly. From blands to another kind of cultural currency, famous movie quotes. These become like idioms, right? Essential shorthand.
Totally critical for cultural fluency. And these quotes get used creatively, way outside their original movie context. Take, You Had Me at Hello from Jerry Maguire.
Classic. Romantic line.
Started romantic, yeah. But now, people use it all the time to mean immediate strong agreement or interest. Like in a business meeting, your proposal was amazing, you had me at hello, means they were instantly convinced.
Okay. Or how about that one from Finding Nemo? Just keep swimming.
Oh, yeah, that became huge, especially in the 21st century. It's just a quick, upbeat way to say, don't give up, keep going.
Just keep swimming. Very motivational.
And sometimes it's the lines from minor characters that weirdly become iconic, like that diner scene in When Harry Met Sally, the older woman watching Meg Ryan faking it.
She just tells the waiter.
I'll have what she's having.
Yes.
It's hilarious. But now it's shorthand for wanting the same, maybe extreme experience or enjoyment someone else seems to be having.
I'll have what she's having. These are definite conversational shortcuts.
Absolutely. And, things like My Precious from Lord of the Rings or You Shall Not Pass. They pop up too.
Right. Okay, so we've covered the standard American accent rules, some cultural applications, but America's huge. Let's talk regional flavor now. Moving beyond the SAA, these accents often bend or even break the rules we just laid out.
They absolutely do. That's what gives them their character. We can start up in the Northeast with the famous R-droppers, New York City and Boston accents. They both share that tendency, non-rhotic, technically.
Yeah.
They drop the R sound at the ends of words or syllables.
So water becomes wada, car becomes caw.
Exactly. Pock the caw, that sort of thing.
But they sound really different from each other, don't they?
Very different. It's often the vowels. New York, for example, often has that distinct aw sound for words spelled with AL or sometimes O. Call might sound like call, like coffee.
Oh, coffee. Okay. And Boston.
Boston can also use an ah type sound, but it's famous for how it handles or words sometimes. The classic example is Star Wars sounding more like Star Wars.
Star Wars. And Boston has that upward lilt sometimes. Makes statements sound like questions.
Yeah, that characteristic intonation pattern is definitely part of the Boston sound.
Okay, let's head south now. People talk about a southern accent, but it's not just one thing, right?
Yeah.
There's the drawl versus the twang.
Exactly. Two very different patterns often lumped together. The drawl, that's the slower, more rounded kind of soft speech people often associate with the South. A key feature is how short vowels get stretched out, almost turning into two sounds, a diphthong with a little schwa sound added.
So instead of a quick have, it might sound more drawn out, like ha-hum.
Precisely.
Yeah.
Haviv. Or pen becomes pian. It adds that noticeable slowness and roundness.
Okay, so that's the drawl. What about the twang?
The twang is quite different. It's generally sharper, definitely more nasal sounding, and often spoken at a more typical speed, not necessarily slowed down like the drawl. It gives the speech a very distinct, sometimes almost compressed or tight quality. I think country music singers often employ a bit of twang.
Sharper, nasal, faster. Got it. Drawl versus twang. All right, let's cover a couple more. What about way up north, like the upper Midwest, Minnesota?
Minnesota.
Yeah.
Yeah, the upper Midwest accent, especially in Minnesota, is often noted for its very pure, long O sound in words like boat or soap or even Minnesota.
Minnesota.
It's a very distinct O. It doesn't have that slight ooh off glide you hear in the standard American accents. O. It's just O.
Interesting. Okay, and one more stereotype, the California Valley accent. Valley speak.
Yeah, the stereotype, often exaggerated, of course. It's less about changing specific vowel or consonant sounds fundamentally, and more about rhythm and intonation, things like overstressing certain words for emphasis, maybe more frequent use of filler words like, and kind of running the unstressed syllables together really quickly.
So more about the delivery style than the sounds themselves.
Largely, yes, in the stereotypical portrayal. So, okay, trying to wrap all this together. From the tiny details, like the flap T and linking, to the rhythm set by the schwa, and then layering on the cultural context, the place names, the quotes, the regional flavors. Getting a handle on all this information, it really does dramatically improve not just your fluency, but your genuine cultural immersion. You start to hear more.
It really opens up your listening. And the key, I suppose, is consistent practice, right? It's not just knowing the rules.
Oh, absolutely not. Knowledge isn't enough.
So how do you recommend people practice this?
The best way to really internalize these sounds, these rhythms, is probably through shadowing.
Shadowing, you mean like imitating?
Exactly. Listen to native speakers, news, movies, podcasts, whatever. And try to imitate not just the words, but their speed, their intonation, the rhythm.
Mimic everything.
Yeah. That active listening combined with active repetition. That's what really helps these subtle rules become second nature, helps them stick for actual daily conversation.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. Practice, practice, practice. So when you boil it all down, these small phonetic details, these cultural references, they're like the true linguistic map of American culture, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
It really makes you think, what perspective does paying attention to these accents, these idioms, actually open up for you in your daily interactions? Something to ponder.
It definitely changes how you hear the world around you.
For sure. Well, this has been fascinating. And if you listening found value in this deep dive, please do subscribe, like, and share this video. It genuinely helps YouTube get it out to a larger public and lets us keep making more content like this.